Hey, Brian Miller here, author, speaker, magician, and podcaster. And if you're into podcasts, if you run a podcast, you're thinking about running a podcast, or even you just love listening to podcasts and have no interest in ever running them, the episode that just aired on my podcast, One New Person, is definitely for you. It's kind of a meta conversation about the state of the podcast industry. My guest was Alex DiPalma, a legendary audio and podcast producer. She produces Food for Thought for the number 4, Thought, T-H-O-T, which is regularly listed as one of the top 100 podcasts in the world. She executive produced Rise and Grind with Damon John of Shark Tank fame. And more recently, she produces Seth Godin's Akimbo. And if you're familiar with business and marketing legend Seth Godin and his work, you know that you should be listening to this. How are you not? Why are you here? Go listen to Akimbo. Like everything else Seth does, it is absolutely world-shatteringly amazing. I consider myself very lucky to call Alex a friend now. We met just last year in 2018 while I was a student in the Podcasting Fellowship, which is an online course that Alex co-created and runs with Seth about how to get into, develop, and launch a podcast. Alex and I hit it off immediately, as you might imagine, because of our mutual interest and backgrounds in audio. Those of you who've been following the channel for a while know that I have an audio background and are a little tired of hearing me say that in every audio tutorial. So this ended up being more of a conversation than an interview. Alex and I discussed the state of the podcast industry and kind of how audio has taken over, become so important in a world that we really thought was going to be dominated by video. We also spent a lot of time talking about the posture of being a professional, what it means to be the kind of person who gets stuff done and ships projects out the door.
There are people who are professionals at getting projects out the door. And those are the words I used earlier. Like there are some people, and like as Seth was saying, those are the kinds of people who walk around differently. Like they carry themselves differently. If there's somebody in your office who's the one who makes shit happen, like they are different. They're just different. And like there's a lot of people who aren't like that. And I am in the process of like trying to become like that, because I think as of right now, I'm like on the cusp. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm still waiting for permission from people. I'm still waiting for like the Seths in my life to like give me projects to do. And so the place that I'm at right now, thanks to Seth, is like figuring out how to become that kind of person who's a pro at making shit happen and getting those things out the door and into the world.
In fact, someone as successful as Alex describes herself as being on the cusp of being that type of a person, that type of a professional. And so I think that there's a lot to be gained from this conversation in and around audio, business, marketing, and professionalism. In fact, one of my favorite parts of the conversation was when we discussed how to use metrics, the numbers, the stuff behind the scenes. If you're running a podcast or a blog or a YouTube channel, when do you pay attention to the numbers, if at all, and how do you use them to make your work better? You can listen to the episode at onenewperson.com. You can also subscribe via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, anywhere that you listen to podcasts. But if you go to onenewperson.com, you'll also have the opportunity to join us, to become a member. Totally free. There's no paywall ever under any circumstances. You just get an email every time that a new episode drops, which is bi-weekly, every other Monday. You'll also get exclusive access to bonus content like full unedited conversations with my guests, where we ran off on tangents and a whole bunch of wild stuff that really didn't end up supporting the theme of the show, which is chance encounters, lasting impact.
Oh God, you have to cut like that first 15 minutes. I don't know what the hell I said. I was just like saying the most bizarre things about being in elementary school. Why did I do that? It seemed like such a good idea the night before. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to start here. It's going to be epic. Wow. You're like sitting there. I think I saw it in your face a little bit, and you're like, this is not going how I planned.
But these conversations and these tangents were just so good and so insightful and entertaining that even if they didn't support the theme of the show itself, I wanted to have an opportunity to let people listen to them, to learn and gain from those conversations. And so the way I'm doing that is offering it exclusively to members of the tribe, as it were. So you can pop your email in at onenewperson.com and sign up for that. Okay, last but not least, a little bit of housekeeping. If you follow my channel because you are interested in audio tutorials, audio gear, audio reviews, if you're looking to level up your audio to the quality of your video, I have something fantastic coming real soon. End of this week, maybe early next week. I'm putting the finishing touches on it right now. Nothing paid, again, 100% free, just a resource for all of you who've been supporting my channel and are interested in this topic of getting better at doing audio. So pay close attention. If you don't have the notifications on this channel, hit the bell so that you see when I launch this new resource, again, in the next couple of days, maybe a week from now at most. All right, thanks so much for sticking with me, and always remember that our world is a shared experience. Have a great day.